Good day, grade 12 learners. We are going to do inventory valuation, calculating the value of the closing stock using weighted average method, then and also calculating the average stock holding period and the inventory missing, item missing. So, okay. The paper that we are treating now is 2023 June paper 2 from Eastern Cape. The recent paper. Cool. Always the first question in evaluation will be calculating the value of the closing stock. And then now, secondly, you need to check which method of valuation are you using. Now we are using the weighted average method. Then now in weighted average method, we're going to go with one price. We're using one price. Then what is one price? What is that one price? That one price, we call it the weighted average price, the average price. Then now we need to calculate the weighted average price. Always, that's the first thing. Because the first question will be calculating the value of the closing stock. Then it means the first thing we need to calculate the weighted average price. Why? Because of the formula to calculate the value of the closing stock using the weighted average price, weighted average method will be the weighted average price multiplied by the closing units. Then that will be the closing value of the stock. Proper. Then now, this was the first question. Calculate the value of the closing stock on the 30 June 2023. Cool. Then now it means we need to do our formula to calculate the weighted average price. Then our formula to calculate the weighted average price will be the opening value plus the purchases value plus the carriage on purchases plus custom duties plus import duties plus duties. Those are the duties. Plus duties, custom duties and import duties. Then you subtract what? The returns value. Then you subtract what? Donated goods. Value of the donated goods. Then you subtract what? The drawings, personal use. All divided by what? All divided by the number of units. Units of what? Of everything that is in here. Duties, they don't have units. Carriage, they don't have units. So it will be the units for the opening, units for the closing, units for the return, units for the donated goods, units for the return. They will take the effects, the same effects. Okay, now let's do this question. Let's do this question. Let's do this question. Now, okay, let's get our weighted average price. Then we'll go down and check the information given. There's the table given. The first information we are given, the units for the opening and the value. You see, of which we need to apply it on our formula. our formula to calculate the weighted average price, we said, is the opening value. Opening value is what? Opening value is, which is this one, 416 to 90, 416 to 90, 416 to 90. Then purchases value, you go to the table given, and we are having a total purchases value, which this total includes what? The carriage. It includes the carriage. So now we're gonna plus the 2,913 plus 2,913, 2,913. It includes carriage. So there's no need to add carriage again because carriage is included total. Then right, then now what will happen? The formula continues to say we need to subtract the return. The return we're having, this is the return that we made in August, which is 5,640, the total. You're gonna say minus 5,640. It's not the only return that we made. We made another return on the 28th June 2023. So now how are we going to get that value? So we need to go use what? The price for June, but should include what? The carriage, because of the same returns for the months will be the cost price plus the carriage were refunded. Meaning the carriage was refunded. If carriage was not refunded, we are going to use 600 times 5. Then now, because of the carriage is refunded, we'll add the carriage. So what is the carriage per unit? The carriage per unit, how to get the carriage per unit? Then we will quickly say the 54,450, then divided by the units that we purchased in June, which is 1815. Then that will be 30 rand. So 30 rand is the carriage per unit. It is the carriage per unit. So now it means we'll take the 30 rand and add it with the cost price. Then that will be 630. Then now, okay, then now we're gonna say 630 times the number of units that we're going to return in June, which is 5, times 5. Then that will be 3150. So that will be 3150, 3,150. So now let's subtract 3,150 where? Here. Minus 3,150. Cool. Then minus donated goods. Did we donate the goods? Did you donate the goods? No. No donated goods. So did we make a personal use of the stock? No. Cool. Are we having custom duties? No. Are we having import duties? No. Okay, cool. Then now, what's left now? We need to divide by the number of units for everything. What's the number of units for the opening? Opening units is 820 is this one. So now we'll say 820. Then plus the number of units for the purchases. What is this? Number of units for the purchases is 4,920. Then we'll say plus 4,920. Then now we need to subtract the number of units for the return. The first return that we made, it was 10. The second return that we made is 5. So it's going to be minus 10 minus 5. Those are the returns we subtract. Then now, let's get the weighted average price. Then now, let's see. Let's calculate. That will be 416 to 90 plus 2,913,000 plus, not plus, minus 5,640 minus 3,150. Then are we getting 3,320,500? 3,320,500. So it's going to be 3,320,500 on top. Then below on the numerator or the denominator will be there. Then the 820 plus 4,920 and minus 10 minus 5. Then that will be 5,725. 5,725. Then okay, let's divide and see what's happening here. That will be 3,320,000 20, 500. Then we divide by 5,725. Then we are getting 580 proper. The 580 is the average price, weighted average price. We got this one. So once we got this one, we're going to apply our formula to say the weighted average price times the closing units. Then we got the value. So now, what is the closing units? Closing units is given here. The 30 June 2023, that will be the closing unit, which is this one. You are looking for this value, the question mark. So now it means we'll come here and say we got the weighted average. You need to show everything here in the workings. So the weighted average price times what? Times the closing unit. So the weighted average price, which is 580, then times what? The closing units of how much? Of 1,160. 1,160. Then we'll get the value now. 580 times 1,160. Then we are getting 672,800. 672,800. So that is the final answer. So the calculation of the average price, you need to show it here so that you can get further marks. Then now we will go to the second question. They said we need to calculate the average stock holding period in days. So now, what is the average stock holding period? It will be the average what? Average inventory. Average inventory divided by, let me write it here. Let's see. That will be the average inventory. Average inventory will be like 1/2 opening plus closing, all divided by the cost of sales times 365 days. So this question comes twice, guys. If the examiner say use the closing unit, you don't use the average. You will use the closing units divided by the cost of sales times 365 days. Then in here, the examiner didn't say that you need to use the closing unit. They didn't say use the closing unit. So it means you're going to use an average. You're going to use 1/2 into what? Opening plus unit. So now that will be 1/2. Opening is how much? Opening, I think it was 416,290. Is this one? 416,290. The closing. Closing is the one that we got now. We just got the closing now. How much was the closing? How much was the closing? 672,800. 672,800. Then you're gonna divide with the cost of sales. Cost of sales. Now let's check the cost of sales is given. If it's given, so the cost of sales is not given. If the cost of sales is not given, then you need to calculate it. Then now that will be max for that. So it means you need to start by calculating what? Calculating the cost of sales. Then what's the formula to calculate cost of sales? Cost of sales will be opening plus net purchases less closing. So let's closing stock. So opening, which is 416,290, if I can remember. Then the net purchases is what? It's the purchases minus returns. So now we'll say the purchases here, which is 200 2,913,000. We'll say 2,913,000, 2,913,000, 2,913,000. Yeah. Then minus returns. Returns, we had a return of how much there? We had a return of 5,640 and a return of 3,150. So we'll say minus 5,005, is it 540? And 640. 640 minus 3,150. So now we will minus what? The closing stock that we got, which is 672,800. Isn't it? Let's verify. Yes. Then now, from there, we got our formula. We implemented our formula. Then let's calculate the answer for the cost of sales. That would be 416 to 90 and plus 2,913 minus 5,640, then minus the 150 minus 672,800. Then that is 2,000,064 what? 647,700. So that is the cost of sale. Then now the cost of sales will come here is 2,000,000 what? 647,700. 647,700. Then times what? Times 365 days. Then you get the number of days. Then you're done. Then you're done. You're done. Just press the calculator. Half means is divided by 2. You add 1, you get this one, you take this one and this one, you divide it by 2. Then the answer you divided by this one and multiply by 365 days. Then you get the number of days. Then now, the last question will say, we need to get the missing units, which is, they said, Navile is the owner, is concerned that despite placing the security guard at the door, jackets are still going missing. Calculate the number of units missing. So we need to calculate the number of units missing. So the missing units, to calculate the missing units, we'll say missing units, we'll say opening units plus purchases units. Then we'll say minus returns units. Then we'll say minus sales units. Then we minus closing units. Then opening units, it's what? Opening units here. Opening units here. It's 820. It's 820. 820 plus purchases units, it's 4920. Then returns was 15, 5 and 10, which is 15 minus 15 minus sales units. Sales units is this one, 4350. Sales units 4350 minus 4350. Then minus closing units. Closing units is this one, 1160. 1160. Then that will be the missing units. The formula, you use this formula always. You don't have to go to the bush. Then 4920 minus 15 minus 4350 minus 1160 Then it's 215 that are missing. Done. Done and dusted. Try to do another question proper.